1,000 Hours family, how y'all doing? I appreciate y'all for tapping back in. It's your host, Rashard. Hey, man, we got a big one today, man. The big dog himself, the underdog himself, you know what I'm saying? Charlottesville own, Stabs own, UVA, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we got the Rams in the building. We got the Pats in the building. And ultimately the Eagles, man. Y'all know who we got, man. My guy, C-Long, man.
Dude. Thanks for doing a road game.
I appreciate you.
This is awesome. I was like, why don't you come over here? You've been wanting to check out the studio. We could just spread out. We put up all the gear, the logo, the whole thing. It looks great, man. So
hey, my boy C got me in the studio, feeling good, feeling presidential up in here, you know what I'm saying?
Look, get out your feelings. Go and grind, cash out for your winnings. Time to get it. Pray to God and then it's time to get it. Time you spending. You can't get back all that time you spending on your ass. Get up, motivate the youth and gon' dig in your stash. Why you waiting? The world is open arms. The hug is for the taking, no debating. And he made you different. No time for the basics. Lace the kicks. I threw on a fit and said that I'ma make it. Ain't no pills. Yeah, I'm from the hood, but I decode the matrix. Millions.
You know what I'm saying? I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm new in the game, but you've been a year plus now?
Dude, we've been. I'm going to talk to Cowboy Reed in the back of the room, my producer. But me and Reed, as far as me and Reed, we've been going about 4 years.
This
is fifth football season.
Steady.
So I'm late.
But no, the YouTube stuff is what's going up in the last year. Like, people are seeing it more. And I think, us starting out as an audio pod, as you go, you learn, like, hey, the landscape's changing.
Right.
When I got into this thing, I didn't want anybody to see my face. Like, that's why I'm not doing TV.
Facts.
And quickly I realized that, like, hey, you know what? If you want your podcast to thrive, people like the visual.
That's the new wave.
Yeah.
That's the new wave. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, cable, I don't really watch it too much now. I go on YouTube. I got YouTube TV.
I want to be like you because I love cable.
So you all...
Because I'm
a little older
boomer,
though,
bro.
I don't want to tell your age.
Smart TV. I'm 38, so a smart TV, dude. I just cuss at my smart TV.
Yeah. You just let them know what's up.
Where's ESPN, man? I got to go to Fubo. I got this game's over here.
Facts.
Right?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you. That part gets a little annoying.
YouTube TV though.
Yeah, it has everything.
I like that.
It has a lot.
I watch it on my phone.
Facts.
The whole thing.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you though. That's the one thing, like, because games now they're trying to, be on these new platforms.
Yeah.
Platforms want to get their name out there, so it's like, you got a game on Peacock tonight. I'm like, dang, I'm trying to find it on the regular channels.
I don't even know where that is, dude. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know where that
I
is.
already know it, bro. It's the worst. Hey, so before we get any more into the episode, it's this new thing we got going on with the 1,000 Hours. I got my dog C-Long, you know what I'm saying? He going to be the first guinea pig with me. I'm a chicken wing connoisseur, you know what I'm saying?
Too.
Love chicken wings, bro. Yeah. Like, I tell people all the time, in my next life, I'll probably be a chicken. if I'm being honest, bro.
Because of the karma?
Bro, because of the karma. Like, you ate so many chicken wings, you're going to feel
If you get over like 3,000 chicken wings, bro, like, you're definitely coming back as a...
Honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've surpassed that, bro.
You might be cage free, though. That'd be cool.
Hey, that'll be smooth,
range,
though. You know what I'm saying?
You'd be a free
At least I'm out there with
chicken.
my family on a nice open field.
Then one day it's over. You don't know.
Where are we going? We're going on the field trip. Greg didn't come back.
Where did we get this? So where did we get these? Because we were talking about in Charlottesville. We missed Wild Wings.
Bro, Wild Wing Cafe was literally the best one in the area. Personally.
And a great ambiance.
I mean, you got upstairs the big screen, the projector.
We don't have like a true sports bar anymore.
I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of B-dubs. I'm sorry if y'all watch it.
I just don't like the wings as much. I don't like the wings
That's
as much.
what I'm saying.
People love it.
That's what the atmosphere is great, though.
Thing.
It's always a great atmosphere.
Ambiance.
Yeah.
Another good ambiance.
You know what I'm saying?
There.
Good selection from the draft, but...
Oh, these look great.
The wings, they look fire, bro. I'm not going to lie.
And now, I like mine a little crispier, seasoned.
No free ads, right? So, but just know, it's a great place on the university campus. If you're watching, if you want some wings, they're a food truck. And they have 2 storefronts.
They'll give you the name if you pay them.
If we pay. Hey, we got to see the bucks, man. Well, let's see. I think you got everything.
Dude, it's really good.
Yeah.
This is a good wing.
There's buffalo garlic.
This is a good wing. I will be back.
This is fire.
And what is this? Just everything? They call it everything?
I think it's just everything seasoned and dry rub. They also have like lemon pepper dry rub, but
this is really good.
This buffalo garlic is good because...
Holy shit, I was hungry. Thanks, dude.
Hey, man. When the vets treat you right, man, you got to repay the favor. You got to repay the favor.
This is good. We did. We treated you right.
You definitely did. I cannot lie. We definitely going to get into Philly, but I will say, we came into Philly, the vets treated us so well, bro. Like, we were so spoiled.
Dude, the new NFL, I know we'll talk about it, but New NFL was a breeze. The old NFL,
different ball game. Yeah.
Yeah, you came in the locker room and it was like, yes, sir.
Right. Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Dudes weren't even talking to us.
Especially with the big dudes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a little bigger. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pre-CBA. There's like a whole different world back there.
That's what I was gonna say too. Yeah. Before that CBA, it was. I mean, hits were different.
Oh yeah.
So I can imagine.
Dude, I work with Ryan Clark every Tuesday on Inside the NFL. Yeah. They got to find fucking highlights for him. They're crazy. All illegal hits. I'm
about to say, I know it looks crazy.
They're like trying to roll some Ryan B-roll. They'd all be finable offenses.
Yeah, they will. Coach, I thought you said we couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Yeah. Just look at how he wraps up.
I get that part of it for sure. I mean, like, it was dangerous. It's still dangerous. No, it's dangerous enough as it is. The funniest thing to me is when fans are like, I can't watch this pansy shit. I'm like, bro, this is literally violence.
It's literally, it's safer in a sense, but look at what just happened to Travis Hunter the other day, bro. Like,
would he lacerate his kidney?
I take it back. My last game in the USFL, right? Before, this is pre-Achilles tear. This is the first quarter. I'm waving fair catch, bro. I'm looking up. Dude smacks me.
Yeah.
I broke my thumb. Ball landed like a second and a half later.
Yeah.
So nowhere near the play.
Yeah.
He didn't get ejected. He got a 15-yard penalty, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what?
Yeah. You look back at some of your old tapes, even like 5-7 years ago. I saw a guy. We had a guy named Drew Bennett who got a bruise so bad that he passed out in the shower after the game, and they had to take him to the hospital because he was going to bleed out internally.
What?
I've seen guys, I've seen injuries, in the old NFL, especially when the hits were just out of control. That Rodney McLeod, our guy, Hot Rod. Did you ever see him hit Emmanuel Sanders on the sideline?
No.
You need to pull that up at some point. Emmanuel Sanders, Rodney McLeod. It was one of the most violent hits on the right sideline. We were playing the Broncos. So yeah, that guy Witherspoon the other night for the Seahawks. Yeah. That dude will stick his face in there.
I'm trying to think. What number is Witherspoon?
21? Yeah, 21.
Yes.
He's a dog. Yes. The kid from Illinois.
Yes. I know exactly
what you're talking about. We don't have a lot of Bob Sanders anymore.
Right.
But there's still some dudes who are headhunters.
No, it's some headhunters out there. And I ain't going to lie to you, like, it's a lot more guys, honestly, even though with the rules, like, it's a lot more guys that are headhunters that we don't get to see because they're trying to, not get ejected and not get a targeting call. But the game is crazy with these, man. Some of these athletes these days are 6'5", 6'6" in high school, bro. Like, big as hell. Like,
I saw a kid down in Alabama that's 6'9", 370 pounds. He's a commit somewhere, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're seeing more guys like that.
Facts, bro.
Everybody's getting bigger.
What's in the water, bro? Because I definitely won't drink in that water that y'all drink. You can't say, I'm up, 6'4".
My brother was drinking all that.
Though.
My brother was drinking. You were just talking about Kyle. My brother was drinking most of the water.
Nah, bro. Kyle, different, bro. I'm telling you, when I see him at the Bears that day, and I looked up, so it wasn't like I just walked into the room. Like, I was getting something done with the trainer, and I looked up, and he was walking. I'm like, God damn.
He's pro wrestler big.
Facts.
All right. You know how the pro wrestlers, like maybe someone played sports, like The Rock played for a little bit, but maybe wasn't good enough. Or, even the dude with I'm just forgetting his name right now, Brock Lesnar. He played for a little bit. He was with the Vikings, I think. But these guys are too stiff generally to play in the NFL. Kyle can play in the NFL, and he could also wrestle. And he would be a great wrestler. He has the charisma for it. Same thing with Lane.
Lane Johnson?
He'd be a great wrestler.
Hey, I'm going to have to see Lane out there. I'm not going to lie, though, when he was – was it him getting his rehab, or it might have been when Jason Peters was doing his rehab and Lane was in there and they were just messing around. I'm like, bro, them some big dudes to be moving like that. To be moving like that.
Yeah, you can see the floor shaking.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You know the funniest thing, bro? And I was sharing this with my wife. If somebody was to ask me, like, all right, what's the most influential thing, you know what I'm saying, that you took away from C-Long? Maybe not influential, but that stuck with me like the most. This shit probably left field. You probably didn't even
remember it.
Think twice about this, bro. We were somewhere, I don't remember. Obviously with the Eagles, but we were maybe in the Rams because we were out there for a week. And we all walked into the bathroom area. You went and washed your hands first. Everybody else went to use the bathroom, and then you went and pissed. And they was like, bro, you just backwards? Why you just do that? He was like, I mean, what you gonna just put all them germs and dirt on your meat, bro, from outside? Bro, no lie. Since that day, I go in the bathroom, even with my son. Hey, wash your hands first, bro. Make sure. Bro, no lie. I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, when you take
it is true. Sometimes, I like to wash my hands before I get down to business.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Since you said that.
So supposedly it's the cleanest part of your body. I'd like to keep it that way.
Hey, I'm with you. What that was 2017?
Yeah, dude.
That has stuck with me.
There's a water shortage in Charlottesville.
That day, bro.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Hey, make sure you wash your hands first. All right, go ahead. Use the bathroom.
There we go. I just washed my hands before I ate.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, make sure y'all wash your hands.
Wash your fucking hands.
There's a lot of germs going around, man.
Hands.
COVID-19 could have been out the window, bro.
That was like a wake-up call. Just keep doing it. The alphabet, the whole thing.
I don't understand it, man.
That's funny, dude. I thought you were
man, so look,
that's fire.
Let's go ahead and take it back from day one, brother. Paint a picture for me in the world, you know what I'm saying? What was it like when football was first introduced to you? Like, you playing or you seeing it? Because I know Pops played too.
Yeah. I'd say like my earliest memories of football were just through the lens of like going to dad's games and stuff, but they were like kind of blurry.
Facts.
Especially because my dad played in Oakland,
and
in Oakland, like, so I don't, because there's etiquette with wings. You might want to take those home. In Oakland, it was the kind of place where it was like, my mom was nervous sitting certain places. Right. Like even in Raiders gear, it wasn't like, hey, when we used to play San Francisco and go to Candlestick, and my wife went, like, I would tell her no Rams gear.
It was a different
my mom, nothing. Because, like it's, some of these places were rough, but like Oakland Coliseum, getting to go to games there, but not really like understanding the magnitude of what my dad was doing because my parents never made it a big deal. Right. It was a big deal, but my dad, going with the flow, basically. My dad just wanted to be my dad, and he did a lot of cool stuff, but it was just work. It was just part of the deal. So I just had this. I had this really normalized idea of what it was to be a pro athlete's kid.
Right.
I knew I was lucky. I knew that like I knew how my dad grew up. He did not grow up with what I had, and football gave him that. But I didn't think like, oh, my dad's hot shit, or like we're hot shit. It was just cool to meet like Barry Sanders at the Pro Bowl.
And you were just like, hey, Pops worked with him.
Bo Jackson.
I get to see him.
Bo Jackson was in the kitchen, man, one time. Like I faintly remember sitting on the kitchen table as like a toddler.
This episode of the 1,000 Hours Podcast is brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, your one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Now, personally, an athlete like me, you know what I'm saying, after a hard game, after a hard practice session, I like to go and grab some of that cooling relief, man. A little CBD oil topical that you can rub on your muscles, on your joints after, you know what I'm saying? Go and get yourself right, man. Now, listen, if you a hot boy or a hot girl, hey, they got the warm relief for y'all too, man. Personally, I just like the cooling relief, you know what I'm saying? Cool your muscles down after a hard, hot day. But that's me. Like I said, man, all your cannabis needs, go check them out, man. Go grab that topical, man. Put it on your muscles. Take care of your body. It's the only one you got. Hey, man, head down to The Hidden Leaf or check them out at The Hidden Leaf CV on Instagram. Go and get what you need, man. We out.
And my dad and Bo Jackson are in the kitchen, and they're just hanging out. And at the time, I didn't realize it. I can remember my dad got me a couple jerseys while he played. One of them was from Barry Sanders. And Barry Sanders ended up being my favorite running back.
Facts.
And my dad always said he was the best running back he ever played. So I took the jersey out of storage because I was moving, and I was like, man, I missed an opportunity to meet Barry Sanders, huh, Dad? Like, I never got to meet Barry Sanders. And he goes, yeah, you met him. You met him walking off the field at the Pro Bowl. You just didn't.
You ain't realize it at the time.
You just weren't thinking about
Facts.
it. So, like, football for me was like, Dad had some cool buddies. My godfather played. My brother's godfather played. Brother's godfather, Sean Jones. He played for the Oilers. But it was normal. It wasn't like.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was through that lens. And then I think the injuries, too, like seeing my dad pretty beat up.
Yeah.
So that kind of shaped the way I thought about, like, my career and,
Facts.
The realities of it. Yeah.
I understand that, bro. That's dope, though, but it's crazy how, like, probably, like, years later, you realize who you was with, like, on the sideline or, like, in your kitchen. You like, bro.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, Hey, I have memories more like I remember going to Oxnard where they had training camp and they had the Gatorade machines with the canned Gatorade, which I don't know if you ever had Gatorade out of a can.
We just had them last year in the USFL. I don't know where they came from.
They're incredible.
It's different. It's a different ball game.
It's different, and I can
especially cold.
Yeah, I just had little memories like that, and as soon as my dad retired, we moved east.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like I'm driving around. Like I remember going there or there,
Facts.
But I just being a pro football player, and at the end of my career, and me and my wife waited to have kids because
you realize the time.
I also know the time. Like
different.
When my dad was playing, and he's said this to me since, I think my dad's the greatest dad in the world, especially because he didn't really have a roadmap as to what it was like to be a father.
There's no blueprint.
He didn't have that blueprint.
So it was just fresh out the.
Yeah, like he bounced around from a couple houses and that sort of thing, and like his dad and him eventually became closer, but he didn't have a blueprint, and for him to do what he's done with 3 boys, I mean, the guy's just a miracle worker.
You gotta applaud him, man.
But
you gotta applaud him.
But he wasn't, as you know, it's hard to come home after a day of football and check that emotional baggage
and give all your energy and
you can't. And so he said to me, like, man, I'm sorry I wasn't present enough at the time. And I know as a player I wanted to wait till later. And I think the cool thing was getting a couple years, for Waylon to just be there. I got pictures of him in Gronk's arms at media day. He's met Fletcher. He's been he was on the field for the NFC Championship. Right. I'm like, so I got a little taste of that without taking myself away from my family.
And even if he didn't realize it in the moment, he has those pictures and videos to look back on, you know what I'm saying, and just reminisce those memories. So that's super dope. So how old was you when Pops retired?
When he retired, 1993, I guess I just turned 8.
Okay.
And so we moved to Virginia right after that. And I never really thought like I got to do what my dad did.
Facts. You just went with what you knew.
I went with
the
flow. Yeah. I mean, you probably played a few sports in high school. I played 4 sports in high school. The whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing. Like my pops didn't go to the college or the league, right? But he was telling me stories like how he had his own commercial and TV show in high school.
Yeah.
He had all these letters. You know what I'm saying? He ended up not getting in an argument with the coach. Yeah. One day when, high school, ended up leaving the team. So, it just changes the shape of, future. Obviously, you don't realize that in the moment. But from what I knew growing up, like he always played semi-pro till he was 48.
Did he really?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Jumping over people, bro. He's shorter than me. I'm 5'9".
But no way, 48.
48,
How old are the guys in this league?
I mean, they're younger. They're like, some guys out of high school that didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
Guys out of college that didn't get a chance. So he playing against some
Did
talent.
They have Toradol?
I don't know what they had, bro. They on the sideline smoking cigs sometimes, bro. I'm like,
they were
what's
out there
going
ripping
on?
heaters in the early 90s, too. My dad's teammates at halftime.
Bro, I would hear some of the stories because Charles Haley.
Oh, yeah.
He went to JMU, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so he came back and talked to us, bro, and he was telling the stories.
He was wide open.
Bro,
from what I
hear.
No
way, bro.
Yeah.
That boy said he would play pranks on the coach.
Yeah.
So, you thinking pranks. I don't know. Doing something crazy, bro. He said, one time I laid the shit on his desk.
Yeah, dude. Stuff like that. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
I said,
like,
bro, that's not a prank.
That's not
bro.
a prank. Like, the only reason that's a prank is because you could beat the shit out of anybody in the building. Like, if anybody else did it, it's like I'm going to jail.
Right, what are we doing, bro?
If you shit on my desk,
not just the desk. He said he did it on the car windshield also, bro.
If Jason Peters shit on my desk, like, yeah, that's a prank. I'm gonna have to laugh it off.
Right, like,
but it's not a prank.
That's not a prank, bro.
No,
like, where do we draw the line?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. We've done some good pranks, but there was never anything like that.
Bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it had to been a different ball game. Yeah. Bro. And it was even crazier stories, but I ain't even
NFL, dude.
I ain't even go put that out. But
like I said, old NFL. I walked into a defensive line room and this is before the new CBA, where it became harder to be a vet. Right. Like, like they weren't going to pay vets as much. Your job security wasn't as solid. Right. Like that's half the reason I retired when I did was because I was just like, this is just I'm playing. I got to play the game now. The game within the game. But when I got in the league in 2008, it was like Leonard Little, Leroy Glover, James Hall, Fred Robbins. Like I had 5 guys in my D line room that were 10 years plus. when I was in Philly, I was the only guy pretty much, me and Mike Bennett.
He was the
Mike
big dog
might have
at the
been
time.
10, and I was 11 my last year. But I was, I think, the only double-digit guy as far as years in the league. And so the NFL, like, coming into it was totally different. And I always felt like this. I don't fuck with the rookies because they're grown men.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
I'm going to respect you guys. The guy doesn't want to get a fucking haircut.
Facts.
What are we going to do now?
Boy, my second year in the league, I seen that so bad, bro.
Really?
The way they did their haircuts, oh, my God.
Yeah.
When the rookies came into the Eagles after the Super Bowl,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were fucked up. Yeah, I forgot about that.
They gave one
Josh Sweat?
Yes, bro.
Josh Sweat didn't want to get his haircut, and this is a perfect example. I'm like,
Maddox.
okay, I'm looking at a guy who I think can help us.
He looked like a grown man.
And he's a grown man, and like, I want to get along with the kid because I want to help him through the year. I'm not going to fucking cut his hair like over some bullshit.
They took Avonte, like he had dreads, so he was like, okay, don't come out. They took his eyebrows off, bro.
Yeah. I remember Avonte's face.
Yo, he was hot, bro. He was looking like Rufus from
That's not good. That's not good. Now, hey, I understand if guys are like, I'll play along.
Facts.
And part of being a rookie is like, I got to play along.
You know what I'm saying?
Rookie dinner,
do the little path that rookies go through.
Yeah.
But when they take it too far, bro, it's like, all right.
A little too far.
You don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Because they're grown men, dude. And you know, but back in the day, it was like no holds barred. And like they were just like, Rook, we're going to dinner. And you got to pay for everything.
We're going to
like,
run it up.
Yeah, like we're going to run it up. You know, go get my pads, do this, do that. James Hall was one of my best buddies, man. And we became really tight. He's actually the guy that I climbed Killy with for the first time.
That's tough.
He was like a 10-year vet, and I got drafted. And I was a high pick. So even if I wasn't better than this veteran who had 50-something sacks in the NFL, they were going to play me more than I should play. And that's the reality of the business. But for James, like, I understand where he was coming from. Like, I don't think he liked that very much. And
he looking at you
like, I used to ask for the call, and he'd be like,
I ain't telling you this. Yeah, you trying to take my spot,
but
brother.
you know, I deserved it because I should have fucking got the call. Like before I got, exactly. You know, and I learned that like, hey, you got to get it on your own, and you know, if you want to learn, you should watch.
Yeah,
because James was willing to teach me every day, but he was going to do it quietly. And by year 2, we were like best buddies.
But
he gave me like a year of like, I got to see if I respect this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how it goes though. He's tough on you because he see you. You know what I'm saying? He see your potential. He see what you can be. So it's like, at the time, you don't see that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like being an asshole, bro, was good.
Yeah, and there's different ways to lead.
Facts.
You know, I don't like yelling at guys. I don't like, you know, rattling younger guys. Like I want to just be direct and be positive. And the positive, like when somebody does something good, I think it's more powerful to say, hey, you did a great job on that.
Instead of just keep boom, bearing down on. Even with I kind of got that, you know, philosophy with coaching. This is my first year at Stab, but I know how I was as a player. So like even when they don't, you know, do what they're supposed to do on the field, I'm not like, God, what the like you see coaches like that.
There's a time for it.
It is a time for it. And there are some kids that need that in order to, you know what I'm saying, do what they got to do, but not all kids are like that. So you got to understand what player you got. Everybody's different, bro.
Yeah, and that's what great coaches have: social intelligence. Great leaders have social intelligence. And it's fucking, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's been easy to learn how to do that here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm running a business now. You're doing this with your podcast. Like, you got to adjust your leadership style. And it's taken me years to figure out, like, how to fucking manage people outside of football teams. Because that's totally different.
You got to live and learn, man. That's like, you know what I'm saying? You can be in a classroom in a book, you know, but until you get out on the field and really getting that experience,
you got to make mistakes.
You got to make mistakes in order to grow. That's one thing, like, led me to the podcast. Because I know I have been asking you, you know what I'm saying, like, what you do this. I've been asking, like, Hawk, different stuff, too. I'm like, man, let me just go ahead and just do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just waiting on it, like, trying to perfect it.
It's so funny you say that because I was just on the phone with somebody last night. One of my buddies, Ryan Russillo, who's got a great sports podcast. And, you know, he watches the NBA more than anybody. He's like, he's a lot like me in that I think to a fault, I want to do too much work. You know, like I try to overdo it. And you're like, well, why wouldn't it be good to give everybody everything on this topic or be so thorough? Sometimes the best podcasting is a little more ad lib. And sometimes the best podcasting is just like, hey, broader strokes. And, you know, learning things like that over time. I was just talking to him about this last night. It's like you have to make mistakes on the fly. There are things people could have told me 4 years ago doing this, but it's been 1,000 reps. Just like football. And you have these moments where you can say, hey, I'm working on this quarter of the year for the pod. I want to adjust how I my tone, or I want to get my questions out quicker, or I'm doing this and I don't like it. You can say all that shit, but until you have your like aha moments, you'll just wake up one day and be like, oh, I get it now.
I get it. Okay.
It's almost harder than football in a way that, like, as far as the learning curve is concerned.
But at the same time, we've been playing football for so long.
Yeah.
Like, we think it's harder, but to the average person that hasn't been playing football, they're like, damn, like, what?
I just mean picking up the habits. Because you're plenty talented, like you were plenty talented to play in the NFL. Yeah. That's why you played in the NFL. That's why you have a ring.
Facts.
You were plenty talented to do this. You're a great conversationalist. Mm-hmm. So am I. But, like, it's not just an art. Like, it's also, there's a formula, and it fucking takes time to figure out.
Understand it.
That stuff, and also, like football, you make a play, the tape's right there.
Right.
Bro, like, I'm in the gap. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, you ran a kickback. People cheer, whatever. Like, crazy. The hard part about podcasting is it's really hard to get the feedback.
Facts.
The honest feedback, because it's so subjective. It's
especially
up to the
people
listener.
Biased to your face too, like, oh man, that was a dope podcast. Go next door, like, oh, that shit was trash.
Yeah.
So you never know, like you said, you're right, and you gotta not only get the formula, but you gotta understand how to, be natural and be smooth
yourself.
with it. Just bring yourself into the formula, like not be a robot in it.
That's it. It's like walking that line between, hey, I want to be all the good things I am as a player. Don't let some coach me out of it.
Facts.
But also take little things without getting too into whatever that point is. Yeah.
And that kind of goes in, bro, to like why I came up with 1,000 hours and you know what I'm saying, how I came about it. Because in this world of football, as you know, bro, like your journey is everlasting. Like, we're not even just football, like anything. Yeah. Wherever you're trying to go to, like your journey is everlasting. Yeah. As long as you're trying to still, get to a next point.
Never arrive.
And it's like, I kept trying to think of names and different things that embodied that.
Yeah.
The only thing I come up with, like 1,000 hours, is like.
I think it's fucking awesome.
Appreciate it, bro. I appreciate
with the
it.
A and everything.
Yeah, because it's like the A is anonymous, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how much time you need to, get to where you're trying to get to, or for that door to open. And you just got to pick that.
I think it's great, and I think also like getting into retirement.
Facts.
For me, and at some point you're just like, hey, I don't know where you're thinking how much longer you want to try to play football,
right?
But like. For me, being out of it for a couple of years, like that's a whole nother journey.
Yep.
And so the journey just doesn't stop. It just changes. You just change lanes.
That's
and
it.
You just got to keep.
That's it.
As a person, man, I used to think when you grow up, you become like this adult where you're like, okay, you know how you always pictured adults like they got it together.
Bro,
if I was a kid and I knew half the shit that adults are going through and like their insecurities and the things they're messing up.
You wouldn't have had the same mindset.
Yeah. So it's good that they think we got it made. But
being
the truth is we're changing all the time.
Bro, I imagine being, when I was maybe 10, 11, I thought 30-year-olds were grown.
They're like kids, bro. No offense to anybody who's around 30.
I just turned 28 the other day, bro, and I'm like, what?
Bro, just wait. Just wait. I'll never forget when me and my wife went to Boylan. We'd been going to because I just hang around at the bars. Like I'm local. I'm a local. I'm a townie, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was at Boylan like into my 20s, and there was like a very distinct moment where we went to the bar, and my wife got into it with some chick next to the bathroom, like some little sorority girl, or something over like the line, and the girl was like, aren't you guys too old to be in here? Or something like that. And I was like 27. So it'd be like, you go to, and I was like, you know what? I'm never coming back to this motherfucker because I can't get this out of my head now.
Oh, I seen a post yesterday that said, what did it say? I hate when old men flirt with me, and it dated back to 1995. I'm like, whoa.
95.
When did 95 become old,
Is that
bro?
the birthday for an old guy?
Yes, bro. I guess so. I'm like, damn, 95.
But that's the thing. I still, and not having anything to do with that meme, but I still think of myself as a kid.
Bro, yes.
Like, I'm like a grown kid.
You got to keep that
has
mindset, bro.
Big responsibilities.
Exactly.
I try to handle my business like an adult.
Facts.
But the minute you start not being excited about shit and having hopes and dreams and unrealistic goals, like have that shit.
You're going to be down and your body going to be hurting. You're going to be like, damn, stuck in a hole. Like, no, bro. You got to be a kid.
I'm a kid, bro.
Yeah, to the end, bro. Got to. I was mad. I was talking the other day with my wife. I'm like, bro, I'm so mad they took Toys R Us away. I used to go to Toys R Us, bro. Every Friday after school, go ride the little bikes and go play the video games. And
that was the spot,
like,
dude.
Bro,
the hit of dopamine you got when you walked into Toys R Us
it was
better
a different
than any
ball
drug.
game. You didn't even have to walk in.
No.
Oh, we're going to Toys R Us. What?
Just the colors, man.
You lit, bro.
The giraffe.
You lit.
Give me that giraffe, dude.
I'm ready to go.
No, but they got a few decent toy stores now. But like, you know, toys now, it's like
not the cartoons now, bro. Shows
now. There's some
now.
good cartoons now.
It's some good ones, but at the same time,
you're gonna be getting into them soon.
Oh no, believe me, like
Bluey.
Bluey goes.
Bluey goes crazy, dude.
At first, I'm watching my son watch it. Then I just find myself hooked. The dad going across the screen dancing and shit from like.
Dude, I start acting like the dad. I start realizing that I act like the Bluey dad,
bro.
And it's just we're just playing it out.
Because at the same time, you got to think about it. These are adults that's making these cartoons. So you know what I'm saying? They're in the same headspace that we're in.
Yeah,
bro.
They just want to be creative and be kids. They got an excuse to do it.
When you go back and look at like SpongeBob nowadays, that you're older and can see. You start seeing all the stuff that they're saying.
Adult
like, bro,
wink nod stuff, bro.
Like, what?
I watched a little SpongeBob with my 7-year-old.
Gotta get him in there early, man.
It is what it is.
Gotta get him in there early. I try to watch it with Juju. He 4. He don't
quite get it yet.
Yeah, he don't get it yet.
I'm not sure I quite get it yet.
Now that you
but there's something about SpongeBob that keeps me coming back, bro.
Especially when Doodle Bob came into the court. Like, oh, what?
It's a great show.
Hey, man, so going back to high school days, right? Yeah. So you went to St. Anne's, Belfield.
Yeah.
You know, football, everybody see you as, you know, a big football player, but was it always football, bro, or did you play multiple sports?
So I played 4 in high school, and I loved baseball, man. Like,
Facts.
This is not a brag. This is me.
Yeah.
This is me joking.
Talk
but
yours,
like,
man.
it's true though. 13-year-old league. What was I, the MVP? I think I was the MVP.
Okay.
Now somebody, as soon as I won it, was like, he shouldn't have won it. The other guy should have won it. But like,
there's always haters, man.
There were like 6 teams in the fucking league. But I had a magical run, you know, like we got in the playoffs. We were the last seeded team. We were the Marlins. I'll never forget this. Down in the bottom field at Cove Creek, I hit 5 dingers in
he was going crazy
in the playoffs, and
good.
we were like, we won the thing, dude. We beat the big bad Diamondbacks. They had this kid that looked like he was 19, who was like working construction already, and he hit the ball so fucking far off me in the playoffs. So I wasn't quite like Shohei Ohtani. But I had a good run, and I wanted to play baseball, but then I started to get strong, you know? And I got in some arguments with my high school coach. And so I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to play lacrosse next year. So my junior year, I played lacrosse. I loved it. I also played basketball. But in the winter, I was so focused on what I was doing in the fall that I'd play basketball, and at 6 o'clock, I'd get in the gym until 8:30 every school night. And I was working out like we were working out in college, man. And I had a great strength coach, and I just poured a lot into the football thing. Now, I never knew for sure that I wanted to do it at a high level. I actually took my first offer because I didn't think I was good enough to play a lot of places. And it turned out that I was pretty good.
Hey, but you see how it worked out, man?
Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I always say, bro. Like, you never know in the moment, but God got a plan for everything, bro. And you started realizing, like, you backtrack, you just start looking back at how things played out. You like,
if something different happens here, it's a lot. Okay, here's one for you, and I've told this story on the pod a lot here, but the way my NFL career went was like I played 8 years in St. Louis. We were terrible. We won 1 game a couple years, won 2 games a couple years. Fisher got there. We had a great defense. We were 7-9 tops. But I was like team captain, had a great run. You know, I was kind of like, you know, the way BG and those guys were in their prime when you were there. That's what I was like in St. Louis.
Going crazy.
Yeah, and I was having my big years, and then I got rolled up on, got hurt, tried to play hurt, couldn't do that, came back next year, broke my leg. So 2 years in a row, it just came down on me, and I was kind of at 30, where you start, like, you're not as big a commodity, and it's hard to come back from injuries. And they cut me. They cut me, James Laurinaitis, Jared Cook the same day. And I didn't hold any malice towards the Rams because, honestly, they were moving, and I totally got it. I wasn't producing up to my contract because of injuries. It's a production business.
Could you see, like, little stuff happening, like, leading up to that cut?
Well, I just knew. Like, I lived at the hotel. I lived in a hotel. Me and my pregnant wife moved into a hotel, like, the entire last year because I knew, we're moving or I'm gone. And more than likely, I'm not going with the team. So I was ready for it. It happened. Crazy shit was going on. Had my first son. I'm in the hospital, and I'm getting ready to retire. Like, I was just so burnt out with football.
Yeah, you done with it,
You know,
and your son coming into the picture.
Yeah, my son's coming in the picture. So I'm going to Harris Teeter to buy some beer. and my phone rings, and I rush to the front to get service, and it's Bill Belichick. And I'm like, holy shit, let me get out of the Harris Teeter or somewhere where his call doesn't drop. And we had a quick conversation. He's like, you know, I don't know where I want to use you, but you're a good football player.
Yep.
I've wanted to coach you. So, like, if you have any desire to be here, we'll figure it out.
That's tough.
And those little things, man, like, I look back at it a couple years later, leaving New England after my 1 year there because I didn't like the scheme fit. I loved it there, but I didn't like the scheme fit.
Right.
Deciding to go to Philly. People are like, you're fucking crazy. And 2 years later, I got 2 rings. I'm lucky. I'm in the right place at the right time. I made some great friends. If I didn't play in Philly, I don't know what would have happened.
Facts.
Another thing that happened was 28-3, the Falcons and the Patriots. At halftime, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm done, bro.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out of here. Like, I never want to look at football again. To come back in that game, and on top of it, in free agency, it was down to the Patriots and the Falcons for me. And so at halftime, I'm thinking,
crazy.
I'm a moron, dude.
Yeah.
and so, like, just every little thing that happens, you know, Rams fans now, because I do this for a living and I talk about every team, Rams fans will say, you hate the Rams, you don't love the Rams, the whole thing. You're mad they cut you. Why would I be mad they cut me? That's literally why my life is the way it is right now.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense.
And so in that moment, when you're hurt and you're thinking my career is ruined, nobody's ever going to see me play on a big stage, you look 5-7 years down the line and everything just worked out. And it doesn't work out for everybody. And so I don't think like necessarily I got what I deserve, because a lot of people say you deserve it for all the years in St. Louis. James Laurinaitis goes to the Saints. His body falls out from under him a year later. You know, Jared Cook doesn't have a ring now. You know, like James Hall, I mentioned him earlier. He never got his
after all the work they put in.
So I'm lucky, man.
Absolutely blessed for sure, man.
And yeah, I'm blessed. And when I look back at my journey, it's easy for me to see those moments you're talking about.
Because I'm like you said, now you're able to look back and reminisce now, but you know, going through it, you never know, bro. Like
you never know.
But it's like also going through that sets you up for now. So it's like you going through the business thing, and I'm sure like it wasn't always, you know, what it is now, of course, but going through those moments, you like, I'm gonna be cool, man. I'm gonna be straight because I already seen it happen over and over again.
I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah,
you're here.
Exactly.
You know, everything that has ever happened to you that you were dreading, or that you know that you were nervous about, or after it happened, you're like, how am I gonna get through this? You got through it.
You got through it.
So it's all it's about in anything, I think, like just like in this, or running the foundation, or being a dad, or whatever, is waking up in the fucking morning and just getting out of bed and put one foot in front of the other. And it's really easy, and I do it all the time, to be like, what's out ahead?
Facts.
But I'm trying to be present.
You
know, because
and that's like an everyday struggle, bro.
Yeah.
It's like not even, I wouldn't say struggle, but just an everyday fight just to remain present, especially with, you know, social media and everything we have today.
Hell yeah, dude.
You could just be, you know, lost in a whole digital world.
Look at your fucking screen time.
Exactly.
You're going to look back, add that up. You're going to be like, so, you know, it's trying to find that balance so you can be present and appreciate the fact that nothing's forever.
Right.
You know, bad things or good. Yeah. And when something happens that you're fucking stressing out about, because I go through it now post-retirement, you know, I've always been somebody that's gone up and down.
Right.
Trying to stay here, you know.
I mean, but that's growing pains. Like you said,
no
you
question.
Know what I'm saying? You just figured it out going through
question.
it. But even though, you know, on the present tense, like, that's one thing I had to, you know, work on, because my wife would be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You on your phone a lot. And I'm like, I'm not on my phone a lot. Like, obviously, you don't realize it, but they going to realize everything. And then you start realizing, you know what I'm saying, your sons want to play, throw the ball with you. You already occupied.
You catch yourself.
A lot of the times. You're like, all right, let me just put the phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me just,
it feels good, dude.
Yeah, it feels great.
I put it down for like a day before, a couple times. I mean, I've done it plenty of times. But like even, you know, part of the reason I love getting outside and going camping, or like going to Kilimanjaro and doing that hike, or like fucking whatever. Yeah, you just is like, I don't have a choice. Right. It's great.
No service.
Yeah.
And you off the grid, basically. Yeah. So you got to enjoy it,
It's
man.
therapeutic.
It's therapeutic for sure. We did a team camp with Stab this summer. Yeah. And I don't know where we went to, bro. We were somewhere in the mountains, probably like 45 minutes away. And same thing. Like, it was like greenery up in the mountains. It was like a creek, you know what I'm saying, on the side. They had like little games you could play. No service though. So, you know, you up there with the team. And obviously the coach did it for that reason. Yeah. But me as a coach also, like, the little down moments we got, I'm just out there chilling, you know what I'm saying, enjoying the nature. Good for the kids. Like, absolutely.
You know, for us, we grew up in a time when, not to like sound like old people, but, you literally, it felt different to be alive, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Being 9-10 years old in 1994 for me, like there were no challenges like these kids have now.
It was a different
like we just
story.
went outside, or we fucking, you can't even watch TV now without looking at your phone.
Bro.
And like I just think there's so much stimulus that it's hard to like really feel present and build memories, dude.
And just unplug and feel like I'm good. Like,
so
I'm
those
cool.
kids you're giving it to them by just taking them out there for a day.
Letting them see that. Because, I mean, me personally, like I grew up in Charlottesville, but my weekends and most of my time consisted of being in the country at my grandma's house, bro. With my family. I had a lot of family. You know what I'm saying? We're out there playing 1,000 sports.
Country dude.
You know what I'm saying? We waking up in the morning playing sports until we go to sleep, bro. That's all we knew.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, we got so many pressures these days. Social media's right there.
And sports is full of pressure.
Right.
Like I heard the conversation you had with Ball Hawk the other day, which I thought was great. And, I think if I read it right, like I would take the side of as well. I think today's athletes, there's a misconception that they're soft. They're a different kind of tough than we were.
Yeah.
They have to deal with way more scrutiny.
Yep.
Being an athlete now, it's so competitive so early. The competition was always there.
Right.
But now it's like in your face.
Yeah.
And people are so hyper focused on, trying to project what your future looks like when we just got to play.
We just got to play.
And, now it's NIL. You got to navigate all that. It's a good thing, but you got to navigate it. Recruiting is a lot crazier. And managing your ego.
Right.
Like no 18-year-old is gonna have a healthy sense of like humility with everything they throw. That's why the guys that do have it, the young guys do, I'm like, you're fucking unbelievable.
I mean, you gotta have somebody in your corner, you know what I'm saying, that either showed you the ropes or, are helping you, you know what I'm saying, along the way. Because like you said, it's a lot of pressures on a man. We ain't had to deal with that.
Yeah,
like,
no. They're tougher in a way.
Yeah.
They're softer in a way.
Right.
For sure.
But it's also, I feel like they're mentally tougher. Like, because we didn't have to, like you said, we didn't have to deal with all that. We was just physically tough, go play the game. Nowadays, you got personal trainers from middle school up, some elementary schools, you know what I'm saying? So you diving into the game at a more in-depth way.
And the burnout's probably real.
I feel it.
Because I was burnt out at one point in my career.
Yeah.
I've been on this treadmill since I was, like I told you, I was working out in high school, like I was getting ready for my fucking job.
Yeah.
And that's not because, of anything other than I had a dad who kind of put that in perspective for me. And, he was like, if you want to do this, you got to work.
I was going to ask you that too, bro, because, obviously from the outside perspective, it's always like, okay, he went to St. Anne's, he went to UVA, you know what I'm saying? He got drafted, he balled out 2 Super Bowl. But I know me personally, what I went through. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Was it ever a time where you just said it was, but what was that time for you? Like, obviously not retirement.
Yeah.
Where you were just mentally drained with ball, bro.
And plenty of times. I mean, I think, and being a guy who has a dad who played at a high level, and it's good in one way because it kept me grounded. I think a lot of times you go home and if you're a kid that's doing big things in college or you're a big recruit, like people just, they blow you left and right. They're like, you're the best thing since sliced bread.
Easy.
But I go home and they're like, hey, there's a guy that's in the Hall of Fame sitting across from me. Like, so no matter what successes I had, and as time went on, it was like, okay, I'm sitting next to a Pro Bowler and a Hall of Famer. Like I'm not hot shit.
Right.
Like I know I got to work to do this. And also like, listen, I'm a really talented guy, but like you've been up in the pros, like look at some of the guys out there.
Regular people.
I had to really work for what I got, and there were times where I was tired of doing it because I didn't get the return.
Yep.
And in the pros, being on a bad team, when you get drafted by in the top 5, you're gonna fucking buckle up, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna be there for a little while.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, because your team's not very good, and you're gonna get every chance to succeed, but everybody's gonna be staring at you. And there were times my first 2 years where I started kind of slow. I mean, like I had like 5 sacks my first year, or 4 my first year, 5 my second year. There was a part of my second year, halfway through the year, where I hadn't had a sack. Yeah. And you know how it is looking at a high draft pick who they're like, come on, get going. You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders.
People start writing you off quick.
And that's, and listen, I got the financial security.
Yep.
I have the security as far as getting opportunities. There's a flip side to every coin. It's like where you came from and you're starting the NFL, the positive you have is like there's less pressure. Your pressure's different. It's like I gotta get this check, man.
Exactly, but it's on me though. Like but nobody else is exactly.
It's you and the challenge. And when you're a high pick, I mean, look at Danny Dimes right now. We were talking about on the pod the other day. I think he's feeling the pressure of getting that contract. And being a quarterback's a whole nother level. But it's you and a billion people in the room and the challenge. And
staring right at you.
And so that's what made it a little bit harder. And then the losing, like, you know, when I got hurt, I think, you know, you talk about mental health a lot now in football. Like, I wasn't right. You know, and you kind of got to – I think you got to hit rock bottom as a player sometimes to then come up, and I had those moments.
And I feel like, too, like you said, because it's different pressures, obviously. Also, you coming from a university, now, you know what I'm saying, at the university you could be big, but now you on a much bigger stage, you know what I'm saying? You drafted first round. Your name is skyrocketed.
It's everywhere. And luckily I played for a small market team in St. Louis because, like, being Kayvon Thibodeau is like a totally different deal. He's up in New York, the whole thing. But it was tough. And then at the end of my career, I was burnt out. Like, that's why I retired. It wasn't because I couldn't do it anymore. You know, sometimes I go back and look at tape because when you're in it, you're such a competitor. You're a bulldog for yourself. I'm a pit bull trying to eat. And so you got to be your biggest advocate. And, you know, like in the moment, you'll oftentimes be like, I am doing this good. I am doing, you know, I look back at tape, you know, in 18, I'm old. You know, like I had a torn quad in camp and they never really gave me any time. And so I could see it on tape looking back. I'm like, okay, you kind of look like you're hobbling out there, but you're playing good ball. I could have kept going, but it just became a thing where it was going to be I'd have to move my family again or be in Philly and play 10 snaps. And at some point, it's just not worth.
You just draw that line.
Yeah, and I drew the line, and I think it's the best thing I ever did. Now, there are Sundays where, you know, I get kind of jealous of being out there. You know, it's natural.
Absolutely.
Because you're a competitor. But I think, you know, burnout, it depends on where you are. Have you met your goals at that point in my career? I was like, what am I doing right now? If I explain to my son, if I play till I'm 38, in 20 years, what am I going to tell my son why I did that?
Exactly.
You know, I got the money, I got the rings, I've had individual success. It's time to go home.
Because now it's getting to a point where it's like, dang, I'm missing out on his, you know what I'm saying?
Real
some
things,
of his stuff.
And in the middle of your career, when you burn out, we used to have you might have seen this on the wall in our D-line room because we were dogs, but we weren't getting the results. And we had, there's this picture of these two guys. They're both mining for diamonds. There's two of them, one on top of the other. They got their pickaxes. They're going down the line. One of them, the diamond's right on the other side of the rock, and he keeps hammering away. The other guy's this close, and he just puts the pickaxe on his back and walks the other way. You never know how close you are to your success.
It goes back to, you know what I'm saying?
Because you don't know. It's anonymous. It's undetermined.
You never know.
And so don't burn out. If you haven't achieved your goals, burnout, it's a message, but it's not like a death sentence. But for me later in my career, it was like, hey.
it was it. And that's one thing I said on the on my first pilot episode, bro. I was just like, if you just keep going like we said, if you just get 1% better every day, you're going to be straight. But even if you're like practicing bad habits every day, if you constantly practice them every day, it's going to be a point where you get in the game or something and you realize like, all right, I've been putting the work in, but not in the right areas or not the right way. I'm working dumb. But you still putting that work in. You're not quitting, so you still got time to figure it out. You got time to, you know what I'm saying, change the script. And
you got to be open to somebody telling you, hey, you're doing it wrong.
Facts. You got to take that criticism, you know what I'm saying?
Because that's the only way.
And that's like, even with this, you know what I'm saying, I just started. I send, messages to you. I send messages to Hawk, my friends. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying, check this out, da-da-da. Like, give me, you know what I'm saying, feedback. Let me know how you do different stuff. And
but it is hard. Going back to the difference in the mission for us, it is harder to get football. It's the most honest feedback system.
Right. Again,
in American sports, bro. You want to talk about after a loss, the last place you want to be in American sports is in a football building on a Monday.
In Philly. You don't want to be in Philly,
because after the coaches get done with you, you limp into the fucking locker room and there's 50 people.
Yeah. Forget before you get in the locker room, the fans going to let you know before you even leave the field.
So the feedback is there.
Facts.
But then when you retire, you walk into these spaces where you're the alpha, and people maybe don't want to be critical of you because they're afraid to. So you got to identify the people that will be honest with you and try to like just get everything out of them.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, like you said, you have to, because you just never know at the end of the day. You never know, and it's not even that people being fake. It's just like I don't really want.
I do it to people all the time.
Yeah, you don't really want to hurt their feelings.
I do it to people all the time, and there's some people I'll be honest with. Based on some equation in my head, how much can they take it? How close to them am I? Exactly. So it's for you and for it's like finding those people and like just, and the first time they tell you you're full of shit or that wasn't good enough or you got to, instead of being sensitive, be like, all right, I maybe need to sit with this.
Yeah, like, okay, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Think about it a little bit instead of just being so quick to react. I feel that. Shoot, going back to, we was just in Philly, man. Let's stay in Philly, right? Yeah. So, you had won a Super Bowl with the Patriots the year before, which was crazy comeback, you know what I'm saying, what you talked on earlier. How was that, you know what I'm saying, that run a little different or the same, you know what I'm saying, with your next year in Philly?
I think it was totally different. I think it was different because of the makeup of the team. Number one, in New England, guys had been there before.
Right.
And, you know, like for me, individually, I was playing more of a role, you know, where I started the season, starting the whole thing. We were playing more 4-3. Traded Jamie Collins. Things changed schematically, and I ended up in a 3 technique a lot. And then my role became just a third down rusher.
Right.
And so for me, it was like I'm a piece of a machine that's been moving for 2 decades. And, you know, like from a relationship with the fan base standpoint, they got great fans, but they've done it a million times. So to be a part of that Philly team, to play a bigger role, to play in a city that has never enjoyed a Super Bowl, and also the storyline of the whole thing, bro.
Facts.
Like
it was crazy.
It was like it was written.
It was crazy.
So, and then even though we didn't, getting a chance, because I remember going to Philly, my only regret was like when they put that banner down and they get to defend the title. Like there's something super deep about that to me, and I finally got to. I was thinking about retiring 17 because I was burnt out again.
Yep.
I was walking into physicals. I remember thinking, get out of line. You don't even want to be here. I was standing in line. I was like, bro. And I remember like there were 2 people left. I was like, if I keep walking, I'm in.
I'm in. You got him and him talking to you.
So, and somebody's like, yo, see you long. And I'm like, shut the fuck up right now. I'm
chill out, bro.
It's a major life decision. But, you know, like 18, even though we didn't do it when we fell short, it was a great experience to try to defend that title.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a very few people get to win a title, and even less get to try to defend the title and get back and feel what it's like to go back to the playoffs with a group that's like, we know what the fuck this is about.
We know what's up. We just did it.
Yeah.
And you doing it now with, you know what I'm saying, experience.
Yes.
You know, the year before, like you said, it was a different team. Like you was the older head in the locker room. Like we kind of had a young team that year. That's why we were such an underdog.
We started 4-6, the whole thing.
And then going into, bro, that first game against the Vikings, just making a statement off the rip, bro. And then what they did to Stephon, like just making them, you know what I'm saying, a non-factor, just stuff like that, bro. Just shows like the type of family we had, the type of team we had, bro.
Absolutely. I thought we had a really close-knit group. And we had a nice mix of veterans and young guys. Well, the thing I loved about the team was we had young guys like you and other Rasul and guys that like I'd play pool with after practice. Me and Nate Garrett would be back there, you know, running games for an hour. And it was like when you're older in the NFL, some of the guys don't live it as much. They go home. They got their families. They don't go out to eat as much with the group. And it was fun because we had younger guys that, you know, like they're like, I'm in the NFL now. I still feel that way. And I'm still at the facility till 7:30 because I just like being
unmatched, bro.
And I love mixing it up with those guys. And, you know, like we did something special.
I mean, you could just feel it, like the basketball games in the locker room, the bowling nights, you know what I'm saying, with the teams. Like we would all be out at lounges after games, just kicking it, you know,
it's
with
a great
the team,
city too, so it was easy to just step out, which was awesome. Like
they loved us, bro.
Everything was right downtown, which was really cool. Like I never played in a city that all the sports complexes were right there.
That was dope too.
I thought that was really cool.
I mean, that was my first year. Like I said, I was spoiled, bro, all around.
Yeah, you really had it.
I was spoiled, bro.
Yeah, and JMU was probably a good time.
Nah, JMU was done. You know, we had just came off the national championship run.
That's right.
Yeah, right before my rookie year. So I went from off a high and then went right back into a high, you know what I'm saying? So just even those runs back to back was dope.
Were you more nervous before the JMU National Championship or the Super Bowl?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Gotta be JMU championship because Super Bowl, when they played that Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares, bro,
out the window.
What? Like everybody in the locker room going crazy. There's no way to be nervous.
How could you be?
When we ran out the locker room initially, bro, we like, all right, we finna win.
The nerves for me were the whole week because we were in Minneapolis.
Facts.
And for people listening, it was like 0 degrees out there. We couldn't go outside.
Bro.
We just sat in the fucking Mall of America hotel all week. We go to Benihana's. We'd pass people on the Patriots. Half the team was sick. Everybody had IV.
The Patriots was?
Us.
I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Nelson, me, Zach Ertz, like 5-10 guys in there getting IVs.
I knew y'all was getting IVs, but I didn't realize that y'all were under the weather like that.
Yeah, we were. Like, I remember Saturday laying in my bed like, you got to be kidding me.
Right,
you know, like you have no control over when you get sick. And when you're in the NFL, like your immune system's down the whole year because you're just so tired. I don't get sick anymore, bro. Because
you're just so used to it now.
Because my body's, my immune system was playing with loaded boxes.
Yeah, facts.
And now we're seeing a bunch of light boxes. Easy to get chunk plays.
It's easy now. We good.
Yeah.
Bro, it was so cold out Indianapolis, bro. Shelton Gibson, he had bought a drone. He was out trying to fly, you know what I'm saying, get some camera footage. His drone was just cut off, bro. Frozen there, so cut off. Just
That's so good, dude. I forgot to get a tin of dip. The night after the Super Bowl, when we won the Super Bowl, all I wanted to do was go back, rewatch the game in my hotel drunk and pack a dip. And I did it with Ninkovich the year before. We just stayed up till 3 a.m. And I didn't have any, and I had to walk to like a gas station, bro. I felt like I was one of those explorers in the North Pole. It was like a 10-minute walk, but when I got back in, I couldn't feel my hands.
Nose hair's frozen, everything frozen.
It's not the whole thing.
Everything, bro. Hey, man, so to wrap it up, bro, you know what I'm saying? Philly, finish it off, retired, man. You've been in your journey. I've been intrigued with the Waterboys, bro.
Yeah.
So how did that come about, man? And like, you know what I'm saying? What you got going with that?
Yeah, no question. So my foundation mostly for a long time dealt with provision of clean water. Now we also do educational equity stuff now. So we have some like essential needs lockers in Charlottesville at a lot of the public schools for kids that, you know, quite frankly, when I was a kid, I had all the access to everything at a school that's well funded and the whole thing. And I still was terrified of school.
Right.
Like I was not a great student.
Right.
And when I got in the class, that's where I felt this small.
Yep.
And I could just imagine trying to be a kid and not having the essential needs and walking into school. It's like walking on the field without a helmet or shoulder pads. And so whether it's hygiene products or coats, or we do a lot with literacy because, you know, if, you know, by 4th grade, it's easy to demonstrate this. Kids start falling off if they're not reading at 4th grade level, because after that, you are reading to learn, and before that, you're learning to read, which is a big distinction, and that you can see why there's that cliff. So we consider that an essential need. You know, we promote literacy, all that stuff. Now, the water stuff, I've been going since I started doing stuff off the field, basically. When I was in St. Louis, my wife and I did a lot of stuff quietly. Yeah. Because, you know, when you get into the philanthropy world, it's easy to make it about you.
Right.
And it's easy, even if you're not trying to make it about you, to being made about you. And I didn't like that part of it. But at some point, you're like, I'm being too prideful. I need to include the fans. Like when I donated a check that year.
Was it 2017?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I donated game checks. And, you know, I sat with that for a while thinking, should I even say anything about it? Should I just do it? Because it's just fucking work in the dark.
Right.
But 3 days in, I'm like, you know what? These are the craziest fans that I've had on our side. Like, let's try. And you know what? They match my contribution. That's the lesson is like you. And my 6th year in St. Louis, Jeff Fisher got the job, and I was up in his office. He just paid me a bunch of money, and we're meeting for the first time. And he's got this picture on the desk, and it's him like with like, you know, trekking poles, and he's in the snow, and he's climbing some big mountain, and I'm like, I'd like to do that. Where is that? He's like, it's Kilimanjaro. You should do it when you retire. And I'm like, I think I want to do it next year.
I'll try to do that right now.
Let me get that contract back. But I went to East Africa, to Tanzania, and I brought James Hall, who I've mentioned a couple times on this pod. And we had this great challenge. We completed it, 20,000-foot mountain, had a blast, got our asses kicked, came down. We're drinking a beer at the hotel bar.
Gotta celebrate.
Yeah, and it takes like 2.
Oh, yeah.
And so somebody walks in, and I hear my name, and I look over my shoulder, and I'm like, there's no way somebody knows me here. It's Joe Buck. You know Joe Buck, the announcer. And I've known Joe for a long time because he's a St. Louis guy and he worked with my dad. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here on a water project. And he's with a guy that looks like Brad Pitt. And it turns out to be Brad Pitt's brother, Doug Pitt.
Oh.
And he's the Goodwill ambassador to Tanzania. And
he had a brother.
So they're telling me about the water project. And me and James had to skate the next day, so I couldn't do it. But when I got home, I was like, I just had such a great time here. One of the things I noticed was water insecurity.
Yeah.
And I started reading up about, because I'm pragmatic. If I'm going to ask for somebody's money, I want them to know how far that dollar's going. And I think in water, it's the easiest, most expedited way to provide somebody with upward mobility in a lot of places in the world. And that was definitely true in Tanzania. And if I sat all day and thought, how do I want to start this foundation? What do I want to get behind? It'd be paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
I was like, let me dive into this.
Yeah.
I had a great experience. The people were awesome. I'd like to do something to give back to a place that gave me a lot. Yep. And so we just came up with Waterboys, and the solution is large solar powered wells. And they provide water for 5,000 to 7,000 people. And that can change somebody's life. You know, kids are dying over there at a rate that would just, because of waterborne illness. Kid gets diarrhea in Tanzania, could die.
And we're
dehydration
over here. Like,
we are so lucky. The only time it comes up, and there's still 2 million people without clean water here. The only time it comes up is when your well breaks, or you know, you hear about Flint, or you hear about water insecurity somewhere else, or Jackson. There's lead in your water, but mostly it's like not my problem.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's what's been hard, is selling that cause to people here because they have no idea.
Yeah, they're like, we got problems here, and it's
and our goal was 32 wells. And we surpassed that, I think, Super Bowl week. And, you know, so then we moved to a people serve model. We've provided 500,000 people plus with clean water through the implementation of this stuff. So we do that. We do hometown H2O domestically. And then I go back every year to do the climb with veterans and former NFL players.
Yeah. Hey.
So, you know, like if you ever get a wild hair.
Yeah. I got to set that one up, man.
Yeah, you train a little bit, but you'll be good.
Nah, I was going to say, bro, that's dope, bro, because like you said, we're privileged here. You know what I'm saying? It's people here that doesn't have clean water, but we don't see that. It's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But when you're, you know what I'm saying, in that climate and you see what they're going through, it's no way to, you know what I'm saying, not look at it and take a blind eye.
I think here it's like it's callous to call everybody here lucky, but people are lucky here on a relative scale.
Absolutely.
The problem here is the inequity.
Yeah.
We have so much, but some people have so little.
Facts.
And in Tanzania, pretty much everybody's scratching and clawing for the resources, which are not plentiful. Facts. And so I just like, you know, we are lucky here because of some of the things that it's great to travel. Yeah. Because you just see.
Bro, I'll tell you, after that Super Bowl season, summer after, Carson always goes to Haiti.
Yeah.
And he was asking guys, and I was like, shoot, I'd love to do that, bro. So ended up going to Haiti with Carson.
Did you?
Yeah, Carson went, Zach, Nate was there, Nate Sudfield. I forgot the pastor's name, bro, but they came with us. And we went out there, bro, and it was like.
Was it Herb?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, he passed away a year or two ago. I love Herb. Yeah.
What?
Herb Lusk. Yeah, he was awesome, dude. I used to sit in his deal on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We would go to his, me and Greg Ward went to his, dang, that's tough, man. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, he was a great guy. But you went with Herb and those guys.
Yeah, we went to Haiti, bro, and we was on the Mission of Hope campus, you know what I'm saying? And so I'll just take you through the whole thing, bro. We had a shower, like you had to cut the water on just to rinse off.
Yeah, you
cut
can't brush your teeth, obviously.
Can't use the bathroom in the joint. So we're, you know what I'm saying, playing soccer with the kids on the field over there. It's gravel.
It's like dirt.
Bro, and they're just going crazy. I almost pulled my groin trying to guard one of them little dudes, bro. They tough.
Dude, because they're out there playing with no shoes.
But it's like, you see all that, you know what I'm saying? Then we went to a resort one time, and the resort was beautiful. But it was another day where we went to a village, painted a lady house, and you see, like, you know, people got stuff bulging out the side of their necks and, you know, stuff like that just from the water because they can only drink the water that's coming down through the little wells that they made.
It's such an afterthought for us. For them, it's life and death.
Facts, bro.
And in East Africa, women are having to do it all.
Yeah.
So, like, we work with, like, a lot of women's initiatives to try to empower women over there because women and girls are the ones who have to go on these 6-7 mile treks, and kids are missing school, the whole thing. So, you know, like you're not even able to learn because of water, not just because you're like out of it, but also because you might have to go gather the water for your family.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Shoot, man. Well, hey, I appreciate it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
you know
of course, man. Come back anytime.
Always, bro. I
appreciate
appreciate you.
Spot too.
Yeah, we could do whatever, bro. I'm still building, but I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Let me chop into space.
One day at a time.
Yeah, we're gonna get it done, bro. 1,000 hours, man. Step at a time. 1,000 hours, fam, man. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? My guy C Long again. Hey, I appreciate y'all having him on. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you. Appreciate the wings.
So, hey, if y'all want y'all wings, you know what I'm saying, rate it. Oh, matter of fact, let's rate the wings, brother. How was your wings?
I mean, as far as Charlottesville goes, that's an 8 out of 10.
I'm not going to lie. So I've gotten a lot of good reviews on these. So I had to try them. Like I said, I'm going to go crush these. Yeah.
I mean, I'll talk to you after the entire thing, but 8 out of 10.
They was good, man. So, hey, if you want your restaurant sponsored or showcase on the podcast, let us know. We don't discriminate, but I love chicken wings. So if you got chicken wings, man.
More chicken wings.
More chicken wings. Let's do it, man. Hey, appreciate y'all tapping in. Tapping every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. We're going to be live wherever you get your podcast. We're here, man. Till next week. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, dude.